and we're going to get started. If you guys hear little Team Umizoomi next to me, my kids are next to me because Mr. Wood is at the league finals for golf. So bear with me if that happens. But anyway, welcome to number 3 of our Cyber Patriot go-to meetings. I appreciate you guys all joining in, and I know we're trying to figure out what is the best time for everyone. For the majority of people, it seems like Wednesdays at 7 fits the best, especially for sports, because most sports people have things on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So just if you are having a problem, or if you know you have friends who are in your teams that are having problems making these meetings, just have them shoot me an email and I will touch base with them, okay? So tonight what we are going to do is we are going to cover several things tonight. First of all, we're going to go over the competitions, when the competition dates are, what the expectations are for the competitions themselves. We're going to talk a little bit about the teams and team structure, and again, accepting the registration from Cyber Patriots. Also, the board members and what their jobs are and who to contact. And then the question that I keep getting from everyone is this a class or not? And what's the deal with that? What do I have to do to make this a class or not, and whatnot? So that is what we're going to be going over today. And hopefully we can get to all of it while we are here. So it's 7:03 and we are going to keep on going. Here we go. So we are going to talk a little bit about the competitions and just the structure of competitions themselves. It is a little confusing when people start to talk about it and what the expectations are. There are 2 rounds at the very beginning of the school year, one in November and one in December, that are called qualifying rounds. Those rounds will qualify you for the 3 different levels of Cyber Patriot. There is platinum, there is gold, and there is silver. Okay. Each of the teams compete in the same type of images, same type of expectations throughout rounds 1 and 2, and everyone is in the same plane. Obviously, except for the middle schoolers, they're in their own division. Okay. When we get out of round 2, we are then leveled into one of the 3 tiers: platinum, gold, and silver. Platinum is the only tier that is allowed to compete for the national round, which is in Maryland. Okay. But what happens is in level 3, which happens in January, and it's usually really quick right after Christmas break. And this year it's going to be really, really fast after Christmas break because we don't get back to school until January 8th. So we are going to have to pay attention to when the dates are for the actual competitions, which is on the next slide. Okay. In level 3, that is the state round. So that's the January round. Okay. And there you then get qualified to go into the following round, which will again determine whether you're going to go to regionals and compete in that, which is in February. Okay. The expectations during the competitions, we had people were actually really, really good about this year, about the competitions and being a part of their team during the competitions. But in the past, we've had some people who float in and out, and really at South, we run our competitions. They are a 6-hour competition, and they run from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. So it's 6 hours, and you guys are pretty much working the whole time. Oftentimes people will run and like get up and move around because they've just been sitting in front of a computer for too long. Excuse me, but for the most part, you guys are plugged in turning on the gears and really trying to get through as many of the problems on the computers and on the machines as possible. So what we do is you are usually excused from your 4th, 5th, and 6th period classes. Now, obviously, if it's something, you have a test, or if the teacher is like, nah, this is material that you really need to know, then obviously then you stay and you do your class and then you come back. But you need to make sure that your teammates know and I know where you're going to be. Just because otherwise we'll have people all over the place who need to be what we need. Okay. So I want to go over the dates. Okay. The qualifying rounds, like I said, rounds 1 and 2. The first one is November 3rd. Okay. It's November 3rd. The second one is December 8th. The third one is January 19th. And then if you qualify out of the third one, you play on February 9th. And then if and when, I'm saying when because we're going to do it, we'll be in nationals in Baltimore, Maryland. So those are your dates. You need to make sure you put them in permanent marker in your phone, in your parents' calendars, et cetera, so that you guys know that those are the dates that we have Cyber Patriot competitions, and you need to be there. You need to be there. We compete inside M2. There's a lot of bodies, and it's a lot of fun because you guys all get excited with each other. So the excitement and competition really goes really well together. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about that so far? I know that was a big question for everyone. I'm going to actually exit out of this screen. In the Cyber Patriot Google Drive, and if you do not have access to that, if you can just mention it in the chat room, and Maya Matterman is in here, who is our president for next year. She can quickly give you access if you give her your ID number. So you can just kind of chat that through on the chat room because yeah, that would be helpful. Okay. So in the Cyber Patriot Google Drive, you will notice there is a ton of information in here of different folders and just different files here and everything. What I wanted to show you first of all is that I have started a new Google spreadsheet that has some of the teams that have started to form. Okay, I don't want it to expand that far. Some people have already told me what their teams are, and that's awesome. If you have no idea what I'm talking about or you do not have a team yet, that is fine as well. But the sooner we find out what teams people are going to be on, the easier it is to register. Okay, the easier it is to register. So I have everybody's teams, their ID numbers. If you go into this Google spreadsheet and put in whatever email address you would like me to be able to communicate to you with, that would help me a lot. Right now I have just emails that people have sent me, or their ETUSD emails, and we all know that none of you guys check your school emails, so that's kind of a bummer for me as a teacher. But if you can add your own email, that would be great. I have everyone's 4th period in there, and as we start to get names of teams and whatnot, we will populate that. The other line there in the H column is t-shirt size. Everybody gets a Cyber Patriot t-shirt, and I understand they're going to be very, very cool this year because it is year 10. So you want to make sure you put in your size of your t-shirt so that we can get you the correct size. Okay. And then that's it for that. So that's in the Google Drive in the main area. But what I wanted to show you was that in the folder that's called Weekly Meeting, these are where the PowerPoints are that Mr. Bush and I have started to populate with the different PowerPoints that we're doing per week, and Mr. Rodriguez will add his as well when he starts doing them as well. But if you are worried about dates, today's meeting is called General Meeting 05/03/17, obviously for the date. And then this way you have the dates right there, and you can say, see, Mom, here they are. Please don't schedule my doctor's appointment on that day. Okay? So again, this is that week in Cyber Patriot folder, weekly meetings, and these are the different topics that we've been talking about. Okay? I would really explore this, especially the Cyber Cool Kit. This is a folder that Mr. Bush set up last year that has, again, all kinds of wonderful information, different worksheets and spreadsheets that are available that students can use. Bob, do you want to talk about that a little bit? Nope. Okay, he's not there.
Oh wait, I'm here. Sorry, my phone was, I had to unmute it.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Talk about this.
Okay. So yeah, hi everybody. In the Cyber Toolkit, it was basically we were preparing for the third round and second round last year, and I spent a lot of time basically getting they're called Security Tactical Implementation Guides. They're basically produced by the government and how to secure government systems. And what they do is they have these guides for each of the different types of operating systems that the government uses. And so what I did was I brought those over, and they're in there for everyone to look at. Now, last year, it's a little overwhelming because some of them, it's a lot of detail, and it covers a lot of different things. What we're going to do, what I'd like to do, is start to incorporate the knowledge of all the previous Cyber Patriots. So as we go through, other teams have used different things, and they go, yeah, this is something that I saw on an actual Cyber Patriots competition, and they implemented one of the changes, and it worked, and it got them points. So there's that. There's also this thing called findmedia.bat and findmediafiles.bash. Those are both some scripts that I wrote that basically go through the operating systems and look for media files like movies, music, and things like that. Almost every one of our competitions says you should get rid of unauthorized media files. So this is a handy way to find those. And also I did hear, not everybody did this, but I did hear from several teams that did use them, and once again, it got them points and it got them fast. They didn't have to go hand-pecking around to look for these things. So those are just a few things that are in here. I think I want to keep improving it, and I think I want the older Cyber Patriots, our veterans, to also help keep improving that we can add a column like in the security guides spreadsheet, so that you can basically say, oh, I want to probably pay attention to these ones. These other ones, who knows, So anyway, I think that's pretty much covers it.
Okay, thanks so much for explaining what this is. So yeah, so again, in this drive, we've got that Cyber Cool Kit, which is amazing. And if you guys come on Thursday afternoons, Joey Mills and Bill Patterson and Naseem Bahar have been presenting to our middle school folks and some of our newer Cyber Patriot people up at the high school. And they've really been giving them some great knowledge on tips and tricks that have worked for them. So if you are new to Cyber Patriot, or you are going to be looking at a different operating system for next year from your team, say that you were focused on Windows 7 and you really want to look at Linux, then I suggest coming on Thursdays because they've been really great. And with that, next Thursday, we are going to have an all hands on deck in the classroom from 3 to 4 with Bill Patterson's boss at PTN. He is head of the IT department, and he's going to come and speak to us, kind of like Philip D'Souza did when he was talking about a cybersecurity company. So put that in your calendar. Make sure that you are in M2 on Thursday from 3 to 4. So that's next Thursday, which is May 11th. So put that in the calendar, pass the word around. I will be sending out notices for you guys to remind you, but I wanted to just give us that memo here right now so that you guys did know that, okay? So again, this is the Cyber Patriot Drive. This is where we put tons and tons of information for you. There's videos in here. I would check it out when you have a moment, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and go back to our general meeting notes here with the presenting here.
Julie?
Yes.
Can you show them where to find those videos, the ones we posted?
Absolutely.
Just as a reminder.
So they are in instructional videos and screencasts. There is a Cyber Patriot screencast right here that you can peruse. I'm not going to open it right now because we learned from last week that watching video through this GoToMeeting is not okay. Also,
you can, Julie, you can actually just open it just to show. It's just basically like a web page to show, to click on. Don't click on anything.
Okay. So there are several videos here already that you can take a look at. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Any questions about that? You guys are awfully quiet tonight in this chat room. My goodness. I feel like I'm doing lots of talking again. All right, we're going to go back to our presentation here and just talk about our teams here, okay? So if you have not designated a team or have not been put with a team, that's totally fine. If you have people that you want to be on a team with as well, that's fine. I know that some people must be have already talked to me about that. So one of the things that we're going to try to do to improve communication this year from last year is that each team is going to have a team rep that is going to come to the board meetings that we will be holding so that they can communicate and be the kind of the representative for their specific team so that I don't have to chase all 6 of you or all 5 of you down when we are trying to communicate things. The other thing is that if we had a point person specifically per team, it will be a lot easier to get information out quickly. So one of the other things that we are implementing because we are using GoToMeeting, that will be kind of like one of our, this is going to be our online portal type of deal so that you guys don't have to be in the classroom every single day. But each team is going to have to decide whether what day a week they are going to come in, and it can't be just one person from that team. The whole team needs to come. One, because we found that it was very difficult to try and help teams and where they can, what the most important pieces were that the team needed themselves versus the individual, because we had some individuals who were doing really well and really excelling, and the rest of the team was just not really participating. So we want to make sure that everyone is participating in the team. So you guys are going to need to decide whether you're going to come during 0 period or you're going to come during 7th period. And Mr. Bush and I are going to discuss which days during 0 period are going to be available and which days during 7th period that will be available. So what are we, Matt, I saw what are we learning tomorrow? Nassim is going to be doing more on Linux so that you have that, okay? The other thing is that we are going to have a calendar of what the topics are going to be for the GoToMeeting so that you can sign up for the calendar or for the GoToMeeting so we know who is going to be here and what the expectations are. And if you are not showing up to the GoToMeetings, I can come and harass you, okay? But the other thing, the next thing that you need to do is that once you tell me what your team is, I will set you up in your teams and you will receive an email to your ETUSD email that looks like this. Okay, it's going to be from the AFA Cyber Patriot Volunteer Center, okay, and you're going to need to go ahead and register. So you have to click on this link, okay, that they give you in the email, and it's going to send you to the competitor questionnaire. And in order to be able to be on the competition teams, you must do this. So once you have your team set and you let me know, I can register you, okay? I can register you, and then you will get your email and whatnot. The other thing that you get with this is that you get access to Cisco's Net Academy, which you will need to do. You will need to do the Net Academy so that you guys are trained, so that you are trained for the Cisco part of the competition. Okay? Are there any questions about that? No? I'm just looking at the chat room really fast. Yes, Shreya, we bring lots of food and I supply lots and lots of candy to make sure that you guys get really well fed and lots of sugar in you so your brains keep moving. Okay? So don't...
Hey, Julie, I just wanted to mention that the other thing you get when you get that registration is you get access to the DreamSpark on the hub DreamSpark, where you can download licenses for Microsoft Windows, all their different products, and a bunch of other things. It's actually worth, like, I'd say, like more than $1,000 if you were to try and buy this on your own. And it's something that you can use for building images, and some of the Cyber Patriots from previous years have already done that. So, and we'll be teaching that somewhere along the line for this year's competitions.
Yeah. The DreamSpark is pretty awesome because if you start to learn how to build your own images, you can usually find vulnerabilities in the competitions a lot faster. So it's pretty awesome. Okay, so going from there, again, once you guys figure out your teams, come talk to me and we will get you guys set up so that you can get these registrations done. Okay, so I want to go over who's on the board for this next year. Maya Matterman is going to be our president for next year, and she has put in a lot of effort in the middle school and in the elementary school initiative, and so she's going to pass those on to some other people this year who are going to step up as well. And then Isaac Chung is going to be our vice president. He is in the process of creating a end of the year banquet for us for this last year. So all the seniors and all of us who were in it this past year, we're going to have a banquet coming up soon. So we'll have information very shortly, right, Isaac? Please respond in that chat room. Say yes. And then we are going to have Justin Cho is going to be our treasurer, who's going to work with Melina Imamura on fundraising. And we like to fundraise because our flash drives and the cost of all of our food that you guys eat during our competitions is a little expensive. So we want to make sure that we have some support. So we'll make sure that we have fundraisers and just that kind of thing throughout the year, okay? And then Leon Jang is going to be in charge of our team relations. So he's going to try and get all Cyber Patriots, as a group to do some team bonding stuff, because you guys, as we can see, are very much on the internet and not seeing each other all the time. And so we want to kind of be a cohesive group. So he's going to be in charge of that for us for next year. So thank you, Leon. And then Diane Kim and Chloe Bush are going to be in charge of press. Chloe is really awesome at videos, and Diane is an amazing artist. And so they're going to help each other and help our team out with some advertising and just getting information out to the community. Lots of people in the community are really excited that we are doing this, and I know that at North High and at West High, they are also trying to start Cyber Patriot programs. And so we have really been the catalyst of this wonderful program, and Diana and Chloe will be our lead for just our communication to the outside world about all of that, which is really amazing. And then Aren Martinez is going to work with our middle school students who have been coming on Thursdays, and she's been there with them. But she's just going to kind of be our liaison and try and help them out and make sure that they're learning all the things that, or at least a lot of the things that we're learning, so that when they get to us, they're going to be awesome and ready to roll for nationals. And then we have a new person, Yuli Ra, is going to be working with the elementary school students, kind of like what we did this year, but doing a little bit more and kind of trying to get more of the elementary schools, not just the feeder schools, into our school, but the other schools in the Torrance district involved as well. Okay, so when and if you want to be involved in the board aspect of it, remember you can always be your team rep for the for your team specifically. But if you have any ideas, wonderful ideas that can help out our great board members, we would really appreciate it. Okay. Excuse me. So last but not least, this wonderful slide that you're all waiting for is this a class or not? And yes, this can be a class. You can go to your counselor and they can put in for your schedule for 0 period or 7th period. It would be under cybersecurity as the class itself, okay? But if you do not want it to be a class, you do not have it to be a class. If you are going to take this as a class, there are going to be other expectations of you besides coming to the go-to meetings and coming to the meetings with your teammate. Dr. McDowell has some things that he would like to see us do for next year. And again, like I said, if you are going to take this for credit and to have a grade for the class, then you'll need to go to your counselors and sign up for the 7th period or 0 period cybersecurity class. And if you need more information on really what it is and what we're going to be doing, please feel free to stop by M2 and we can have a conversation individually about that. Tyler, I can talk to you guys, SUP-B, at a different time. Just if some of you guys swing by maybe tomorrow at lunch, I can help you guys out with trying to figure out what is going to be the best for you guys for your 0 or 7th, okay? But that is all I have for tonight. Does anyone have any questions besides the individual questions that might pop up? I know we only had 23 people in here of 51 or so, and we need to make sure that we get the word out here. I know that some people had soccer practice today, and a couple of others told me that they weren't able to come because of other commitments. But if you are kind of have your team, if you look at the attendees and see that you really are the only one that is on this list from your team or from the people that you know you're going to be working with, you may want to have a conversation with them, and I will be checking up on all the other people as well. I know it's a rough time because it's AP time as well, so people are studying and whatnot. So, any other questions?
Ms. Wood, you said if we want Cyber Patriots to be a class for us, what do we have to do?
You need to go to your counselor, Leon, and ask
Okay.
to put you into the cybersecurity class that is running 7th period.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anybody else? It was a good question. No? Okay, well,
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Oh, is this working?
Yes.
Wait, if we take it as a class, is it going to count towards like the GPA and stuff?
Yes.
Or could we take
it does count it towards the GPA. Remember, this is not an honors or an AP class, so it's not weighted. However, it does look really good on your transcript that you are taking a cybersecurity class. So it will be on your transcript. It is an ABCD type of grade. It is not pass-fail for next year. Dr. McDowell will not let us do that for next year. But if you do not want it to be a class, you do not have to have it as a class. You continue to keep it as a club type of activity.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, well, that part of my presentation is done. If you guys, I will stick around on here for probably another 10, 15 minutes if anybody has any questions or anything that is personal that they want to talk about or just want to shoot me a personal text in the chat room. I don't know if you guys noticed that at the bottom of your chat box, you can change it from everyone to specific people. so that you can have specific chats going through the actual GoToMeeting if you would like as well. Okay? So other than that, I will see you, some of you or most of you, mañana. Thanks for coming today.
Bye.